Welcome back to Niner Tech Talk. I'm Devin Williams.
I'm Shanti Pillai.
And I'm Nicole Sazanchika.
Today we're going to be discussing how AI data centers have been increasing the cost of technologies for students and faculty across the globe.
As you may have noticed, the cost of a lot of hardware, such as laptops and computers, have increased crazy.
Especially due to AI tools, those come with a lot of unprecedented costs that we decided to talk about today.
This is very concerning because a lot of students, especially computer science students, need technology in order to be able to develop whatever theses or AI data tools or anything that revolves technology. It is very difficult as a student to be able to afford things that cost $500 to $1,000 and even $1,500.
Yeah, and for universities who are trying to upgrade computers, such as in the library, it is also very pricey right now, which might delay upgrades for the future.
Although a lot of companies and research institutions state that AI can save us costs in the long run, there are a lot of upfront initial costs that institutions have to consider.
And another thing to consider is the subscription cost of AI as we begin to develop it more and make it better. The thing about subscriptions is that, again, students can't really afford them all the time, so they're forced to use the free tools that may be effective, but also very limited. And the question to you guys, how have your experience been trying to use AI and use a subscription versus the free tool?
For me, because I was doing research with AI, I actually had to pay for either a subscription or a per chat fee to go ahead and get my research done, which I assume is very different in price depending on which model you use. So luckily I only had to pay a few dollars, but I know that for the more extensive models it might be a few $10 or a few $20.
Okay.
I haven't really personally had too many experiences, but I know you can be more restricted with some models, especially when you are using the free version instead of premium.
Yeah, and I think this is also why many people are switching models, such as from ChatGPT to models such as Gemini or Claude, because those chatbots tend to be more free-based versus ChatGPT only giving you 5 responses per day.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I mean, I know I've heard that teachers have been developing their own models in order to try to mitigate the cost so that way they can still have that tool be effective without having to fork over so much cash. Have you guys experienced any of that with faculty members?
Yeah, my intermediate microeconomics professor actually uses it to grade our exams and to grade our quizzes, and her agent can actually scan our papers and put the grades directly into Canvas. Since AI is really good with is something correct or not, she has had to update her grading system to either give you full points or no points because the AI isn't too good at giving partial credit, so that is how she has had to implement the agent.
That's pretty cool. Have you had any experience for yourself?
Not really, but just through, the research that we've done about, this kind of topic, it's interesting because professors and teachers and institutions have to consider the fact that, if they were to pay for these subscriptions through some AI developer, then they'd have to consider how many seats they have and whether they want to do it by the number of students that are going to be using the application, or if they want to do it by usage, whether they're using it commonly or not, because the costs differ.
Yeah, cost benefit analysis is very important when we're talking about education. We need to understand whether or not the money that we're giving into it is actually going to give us the benefit of the degree in the education that we are wanting to be provided for us.
We also need to consider if the particular model or AI program or tool that we're using is actually effective in an educational setting, which would require extensive research to ensure that it's actually effective at teaching students.
Yeah, not only that, but we need to research how it is effective at each school particularly, because each school has different AI ethical standards that we want to make sure all students abide by.
Before any of this, we really need to actually ask teachers and students and educators and institutions in general what needs or concerns they want AI tools to meet and how a specific tool would actually benefit the institution.
All right, that was a really good conversation. Thanks for joining us, and to leave you off with a question, have you seen a rise in technology as you've been going around and perusing the market? Let us know in the comments. Thanks for joining us. Have a good one.
Bye-bye.